I'm going to tell you guys the story time of the very first series of red flags I noticed when I began dating my ex-husband, and the reason why I shouldn't have ignored them, but I did ignore them, and it comes back to this. I did this in my relationship with my ex all the time for 10 years. And I can remember the very first time I did it, and I thought about just replying to this comment being like, yes, so true. But I thought it might be more helpful for me to actually share like what the very first time I ever did this was, and how I distinctly remember the moment to this day. And looking back now, I should have never, ever, ever given him another chance and excused what it was after it happened. So we went on our first date. We went to Olive Garden for dinner, and then he took me to his sister's apartment to hang out with her and her boyfriend on our first date, and they were smoking greenery. And at this point in time, I'd never done that before. I was 19 years old. I was very much like a good girl in high school. My mom scared me shitless because she and my dad had me when they were 19. So I was like very, very straight-laced. And so they were all smoking, and they were like, do you want some? And I was like, no, I'm good. And like, it kind of made me uncomfortable just because I hadn't been around it a lot. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that, as long as you're not doing it all day, every day, like my ex was. But that was like one thing where I was like, we're different in that way. And then after that, he wanted to take me back to his place so we could keep hanging out, but he lived with his parents at the time. He was 22. I wasn't 19. I was newly 20. He was 22. And he like asked his parents if he could bring me over, and his stepmom like said no, because they like didn't know who I was, and like they didn't take like our relationship or like dating seriously enough to like condone me coming over. So like that's uncomfortable. And then he had also mentioned like doing what do they call that in these circles? White powder substances, you know? And if I'm not smoking green, I'm definitely not doing blow. And so there were just a couple things that made me uncomfortable, and honestly were like giving white trash. And we had made plans for a second date, but I was kind of like waffling on it because of all these things that had happened on our first date, and I was like, I don't really know if this person's for me. And so when we were supposed to have a second date, I ended up texting him being like, hey, like my stomach hurts, like I'm not really feeling well today, can we rain check? And he was really shitty with me. He was like, yeah, I guess, like no punctuation, didn't ask me like, are you feeling okay, can I do anything for you? Not even a like, no worries, yeah, that's fine. He was shitty with me. And we worked together at the time, so the next time that I saw him was when I went in for my next shift, and he was my supervisor. He was one of my supervisors. We worked at a grocery store, and so I had like gone up to him when I arrived to like see where I needed to be stationed, and he was being very like, he was kind of like ignoring me to like hee hee ha ha with other people. And there was a customer, because he was working as a self-checkout attendant while supervising and giving people their assignments. There was a customer, she was a college student. We live in a college town, and he again was like, hang on, and like started talking to her to help her, which is fine. But he then proceeded to start like flirting with her in front of me and being like super smiley, like laughing, like really just laying it on thick. And this culmination of things is so obvious, so many red flags, from the difference in lifestyle to the way he was kind of a jerk when I like canceled our plans, to the way he was like flirting with this other girl in front of me to try to make me jealous and like rub my face in it, you know? Those are all things you have to discern from the outset. Like we're not gonna be like, oh well, you know, maybe it just hurt his feelings that I like canceled, and he like likes me so much that he was upset that I canceled because he wanted to see me. Like, no, anyone who actually likes you is not going to treat you like that. And to go back to the very beginning, when I say differences in lifestyle, if this person does things that you are not comfortable with doing in your life, you should not be dating someone who does those sorts of things. This is exactly what I mean, and this is exactly what Tara's saying about that line from the movie, where I went out of my way to make him comfortable instead of looking out for my own well-being. And I did that by brushing all of this under the rug and giving him another chance and continuing to date him even when I shouldn't have.